Welcome to 7th grade girls volleyball here. Middle school as we have Southview on the left serving to General Johnnie Wilson, the home team, on the right as we are underway in game one. And again, we normally will tell you the uniforms to separate the teams, but they both wear the same, so I can let you know when you're watching on TV, Southview is to the left side and General Johnnie Wilson is on the right. And we'll get you the numbers as soon as we can. Serve goes over the net, and it's a point, and that is for General Johnnie Wilson. They take a 2-0 lead as serving. Here is Jamira Oliver, gives her team a 2-0 lead. So Oliver set to serve once more. Game one of our junior high volleyball. This is 7th grade. We'll have the 8th grade game later. Oliver with the serve, just gets over the net, makes it 3-0, is unable to return that for the Southview 7th graders. That is Leasia Smith was unable to pass that over the net. So it's 3-0 General Johnnie Wilson here in the very early going of game one. Rob Polinsky, Mike Picciotti here with you for WLCS TV 20 as we're at General Johnnie Wilson Middle School. A little miscommunication in the back row as it falls between Lachey Williams and Rose Noble. That gives Southview, or I should say that gives General Johnnie Wilson another point, and they lead 4-0 here. Again, continuing to serve very well is Jamira Oliver. So Oliver gets another serve over the net. Smith unable to make the play, so it's 5-0. And Mike, at this level, if you can get your serves in bounds, boy, that is half the battle. You can help your team out by just doing that. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be overhand or anything like that. And Smith is doing a really good job here, or I'm sorry, Jamira Oliver doing a really good job here early on. Again, it's served well. This time it's played ahead. And from the middle of the front row and hitting it over, nicely done for General Johnnie Wilson. That is Kaya Rice, and that gives Southview the point, and they trail 5-1. Now I know why I always set up above. It's a little easy to see the numbers from up there. We may do a little different down here, but that's okay. Serving for Southview as they serve it out of bounds. And that makes it 6-1. General Johnnie Wilson now leads. And that serve went out of bounds, so it's 6-2. General Johnnie Wilson with the lead. Southview, we don't have a number 11, so I'm not sure that young lady is serving, but putting it into the net for General Johnnie Wilson at that time. It is Tiara McAfee, and it's now 6-3. So Southview cutting into the lead, and they trail 6-3. Played, and from the middle of the front row, unable to get it over is Rose Noble, and General Johnnie Wilson takes a 7-3 lead. Substitution coming in for General Johnnie Wilson. That is Amari Latimer coming in. Serve to the back row, sent ahead, but into the net, so that point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. Southview couldn't get it over the net as Lachey Williams tried to make the play there, but it was hit too far for her to reach, so her team trails 8-3. And from the back row, unable to place that over. Basically an ace from the serve of General Johnnie Wilson's Kaya Rice, and it's 9-3. ace that time. With a missed serve, gives Southview the point, and Southview now will serve trailing 9-4. Southview is coached by Marion Engel, and General Johnny Wilson, the 7th graders, coached by Amy Mazer. Leasia Smith to serve, and that one won't reach the net, so it's 10-4 as General Johnny Wilson gets the point. Again, you play to 25, you must win by 2, and they play 2 sets of 3 or 2 games of 3, however you prefer to refer to it. Aaliyah Newell serving, and Aaliyah sends it over, and that one will be sent out of bounds wide. Lachey Williams was able to put it over the net, but it was just out of bounds. So General Johnny Wilson takes a commanding 11-4 lead here early on in game 1. And Rob Polinsky, Mike Pichetti from WLCS TV 20 here with you today as that one is sent out of bounds a little too far as Newell got too much of that, and it's 11-5. The point goes to Southview. Again, Southview will be serving. They're on the left side of your screen. General Johnny Wilson on the right as we are playing at General Johnny Wilson Middle School. Rose Noble to serve, and she gets the point, makes it 11-6 as we're in game 1. Noble once again, good line drive serve, and that is going to be a point. And it's 11-7 as Southview gets a little bit closer here in game 1. General Johnny Wilson scored the first 5 points to take a 5-1 lead, so Southview has had to battle from behind. And since trailing 5-0, they have outscored General Johnny Wilson 7-6. That missed serve gives a point to General Johnny Wilson. It's now 12-7. Substitution for Southview. Rosie Vasquez will check in and go to the back row. General Johnny Wilson with the serve. Vasquez, who just came in, hits it up and passes it ahead to Lachey Williams, who couldn't get it over the net. So it's now 13-7 as General Johnny Wilson adds to their lead. And serving is Tiara McAfee. McAfee with a serve that'll go wide and out of bounds just in front of Coach Engel, and that makes it 13-8. Southview to serve. Sent back over from the back row. They play it ahead, and Vasquez will send it ahead, and on the third hit, unable to put it over the net, whereas the Southview 7th graders, so that point will go to General Johnny Wilson, and they lead 14-8. Serving, Edelise Rivera. Rivera with a good high serve, almost reaches the ceiling, and then is sent right back, and I believe that's in. It is, as that's an excellent job by Rosie Vasquez hitting it inbounds, and it makes it 14-9 as she gets the point for Southview, and they'll also get the serve, trailing by 5. So going to serve for Southview will be Aurora Lee. Aurora Lee with a good deep serve that's played from the back row by McAfee. Back over to the General Johnny Wilson side, and believe it hit the ceiling, so that point will go to Southview, and it's now 14-10. As that was Aaliyah Newell who hit that just off the ceiling beam, and that's out of play evidently, so that will be a point for Southview, and they are within 4 now, and that serve goes out of bounds, makes it 15-10. So after a 5-0 start, it's been even at 10 apiece here in game 1, and serving will be Jamira Oliver. She started off by serving for General Johnny Wilson and got her team the 5-0 lead with 5 good serves. And on the first serve, though, that goes into the net and makes it 15-11. I guess I jinxed her, Mike. You know, what can I tell you? front row for General Johnny Wilson. Sending it over as Kaya Rice gets the point, 16-11. General Johnny Wilson, 7th graders leading. Again, they're on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side of the net would be the 7th graders from Southview as we are playing this match at General Johnny Wilson Middle School. And going back to serve is Carly Patterson. Patterson with her first line drive overhand serve. Excellent job, and that point makes it 17-11. And if she gets that serve in bounds, that's going to be very difficult for Southview to try to pass that. So let's see what Carly Patterson, if she can continue to do that. That was a tremendous line drive overhand serve. Patterson sends it over. This one more high and arcing, sent back over by the Southview 7th graders and then played out of bounds. Nice job from Southview's Aurora Lee, who was able to get that point for her team, and now they trail 17-12. Point to Southview. They trail now 17-13. This is as close as they've been since it was 4-0. They have cut it to 4. And from the back row, General Johnny Wilson sends it over. That play is going to go out of bounds. It was hit too far. It makes it 18-13. As hitting that was Leasia Smith, but a little too far. And General Johnny Wilson gets it 18-13 because that was hit out of bounds. And for General Johnny Wilson, going back to serve is Kaya Rice. Left side of the front row, putting that ahead was Lachey Williams, unable to put it over the net as Rosie Vasquez. So it's now 19-13 General Johnny Wilson. Game 1, you play 2 out of 3. First match, 7th grade. Coming up, we'll have 8th grade following this. And a nice job by Vasquez. Now she slides to her knees to go to get it. And it's sent over, but that will be out of bounds. It's 20-13. Leasia Smith made the play, but hit it out of bounds. And now General Johnny Wilson up by 7, 5 points away from game 1 as Rice continues to serve for her team. And that is sent out of bounds. Aurora Lee from the back row played it, but hit it out of bounds, and it's 21-13. Again, trying to slide up to make that pass, and unable to do so was Lee, and it's 22-13. That placement of that serve was really well done by Rice, and her team was 3 points away from game 1. From the back row, it's sent ahead, and then a nice job from the left side of the front row from Edelise Rivera. And that point makes it 23-13. It's a 10-point lead, and they're 2 points away from game 1. And that's hit out of bounds. We're at game point. So General Johnny Wilson up 24-13 at game point here of game 1 of 7th grade volleyball. You play 2 games out of 3. And then following this contest, we'll have the 8th graders. Serving for the game is Rice, and it's sent ahead. And on the third hit, unable to get it over. Nice job holding up game point was the Southview 7th graders, as Lachey Williams with an excellent play cuts the lead in 24-14, but they've got a long way to go here to get back into game 1. As coming in to serve is Eve Marie Rivera. So Eve Marie Rivera will serve. And Rivera sends it over. And from the left side of the front row, Lachey Williams went into the net, and that will give game 1 to General Johnny Wilson as they go up 25-14. So game one goes to General Johnnie Wilson 7th graders. They win it 25-14. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with game two right after this. You're watching 7th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools television.
Hey students, this is Cleveland Browns offensive lineman Wyatt Teller. September is Attendance Awareness Month. Did you know that missing school can significantly decrease your chances of graduating high school? Stay in the game by showing up to school on time and ready to learn. The Browns are always behind you.
Game two getting underway with General Johnnie Wilson and Southview, and General Johnnie Wilson serving, and the first serve it is in, and General Johnnie Wilson takes a 1-0 lead here in game two. So General Johnnie Wilson won game one 25-14. They never trailed. They scored the first 5 points to go up 5-0. And it kind of seesawed back and forth a little bit, but that 5-0 start was critical in game one. It got to be 15-11. That's as close as Southview would get. But General Johnnie Wilson then went on a real good run, was up 24-14, and they would close it out at 25-14 as they did a really good job towards the end of game one. So 2-0, and serving for General Johnnie Wilson is Jamira Oliver. She started serving game one with that 5 consecutive points. From the middle of the front row, it is the Southview young ladies putting it over, and as they go back and forth for Southview, sending it ahead was Aurora Lee. Lee again passes ahead, but unable to get it over the net. It makes it 3-0. We're going to have a sub here for Coach Marion Ingles' team. She's coaching the Southview 7th graders today. And I don't have a 42 on my list for Southview, so I'm not sure who that young lady is, but Oliver will continue to serve for General Johnnie Wilson, who's on your right, Southview team on your left. Sent to the back row, well done and in play as Oliver put it in, and it's now 4-0. So again, in game one, they led 5-0. So far in game two, they've scored the first 4 points to lead 4-0. As you played the best 2 of 3. Jamira Oliver. Again, we'll send it over. And it's dug out, and a nice job putting it over the net to make it a 4-1 game for Southview. They get their first point, and that is Micaiah Heidelberg who did that, and an excellent job to give Southview their first point of game two. From the middle of the front row, it is sent back over. Deep in the back, nice job here for both teams as they have their longest rally of the match to this point. And at that point will go to General Johnnie Wilson as Rosie Vasquez was unable to play that over the net. So it's now 5-1. That was by far our longest rally of the match so far. And again, young lady going back to serve with this overhand serve is Carly Patterson. Saw her do this in game one. Patterson with a good line drive serve, but that is wide out of bounds. That point will go to Southview. They now serve trailing 5-2. Rosie Vasquez goes to serve. Vasquez sends it over, and it's put out of bounds. It'll make it 6-2. That serve will not make it over the net, so it's now 7-2. General Johnnie Wilson out front. And going back to serve for General Johnnie Wilson is Kaya Rice. Rice with a good line drive serve, and it is sent by Rivera, unable to get it over the net, and it's 8-2. So General Johnnie Wilson already out in front 1-0. Leads 8-2 in game two. Rice to serve, and it is sent over. And that point, as Oliver wasn't able to get it over the net and pass it ahead to a teammate. It's 8-3 as Southview has cut the lead. Heidelberg to serve. For Southview, takes her time, gets it over, well done, and that'll be an ace as that goes in front of Patterson. Nobody back there for General Johnny Wilson to make the play on that serve. So it's an ace and it's 8-4. Heidelberg again to the middle of the court. And on the third hit, she hits it as well as she can, but can't quite get it over the net. You must do so on 3 hits, so that point will go to General Johnny Wilson. It's now 7-5. Serve goes to General Johnny Wilson on the ace, makes it 8-5. Serving is Namaya Johnson. Maya Johnson for General Johnny Wilson sends it over to the Southview side. Another ace, back-to-back aces, 9-5 now as the General Johnny Wilson team leads, and now they find another point for them, and it's 10-5. Johnson again. Sends it over to the middle of the court. And a well-played point for Southview. As for the Southview team, that was Lachey Williams, and it makes it 10-6. The bounds, 11-6. Tiara McAfee serving. She tries the overhand serve. It's well done, and that will make it 12-6 as Heidelberg tried to pass that ahead, but that was a tough serve for her to handle, and it's 12-6 off the serve of Tiara McAfee. McAfee again sends that over, and that is in. That's an ace as it's on the line as Eve Marie Rivera watched that go by thinking it would go out of bounds. It was not. It was inbounds. So it's now 13-6. And Patterson hits it into the net on the left side of the front row. Gives Southview a point, and Southview now trails 13-7. From the back row, hitting it over but out of bounds is McAfee. It's 13-8. Point goes to Southview, trailing by 5. Patterson tries to play it right in front of us. 13-9. Mike, you don't get hazard pay. I'm just letting you know, but you got to save the equipment. One thing Joe Bach taught us all: don't worry about ourselves or our own health or bodies, but whatever you do, don't let the volleyball hit any of this equipment.
I don't think that comes out of my paycheck.
13-10, and we have a timeout, our first timeout of the match. And while they have the timeout, let's tell you a little bit about WLCS TV 20. Drive to 10,000 followers. TV 20, home of the best high school sports coverage in Northeast Ohio. Media of most school district events. Award-winning Titan News. Follow and like us on TV 20. Lorain Schools TV 20 has over 6,600 likes and over 9,500 followers. So check us out and follow us and help us get to over 10,000 followers. As again, we have a timeout on the court. And while they do that, well, I guess we're getting ready to get back to action. We'll get you some of our other sponsors, some of those reads as we continue to have timeouts during the festivities. Game 2, 13-10, General Johnny Wilson. They won game 1, 25-14. So Southview trying to even this at a game apiece and get us to a third game. General Johnnie Wilson trying to get the 2-game sweep, and that was Camille Howard who got that point, and now she's going to sub out as her team leads 14-10. Going back to serve is Amari Latimer. Amari gets it over the net, and that'll be an ace, a point, as it's 15-10. They led 15-10 in game 1 and went on to win that game 25-14. We'll see how this second game fares, but to this point, the exact same score that we had early on in game 1. Well, Amari Latimer with her team up 1-0. Sends it over, and that cross-court hit will go out of bounds, 16-10, as it was Aurora Lee making the play that time for Southview, but she did hit it out of bounds, 16-10. Ari Latimer to Aurora Lee. Lee hits it, but that's going to be in, as Namaya Johnson let that go, thinking it would go out of bounds. It did not. 16-11, the point goes to Southview. And it'll be Aurora Lee serving for the Southview 7th graders. Trailing 16-11. Good deep serve. McAfee sends it back over to the Southview side. That is played, and that one will be inbounds at 16-12. So Southview gets as close as they've been in a while at 16-12 as they continue to try to get back into game 2 here. Down 1-0. Aurora Lee will put that out of bounds. Point to General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 17-12 and have to serve. Jamira Oliver serving. She served at the beginning of game 2, got her team to a 4-0 lead. Jamira sent over by McAfee. McAfee right back to the Southview side. Point for General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 18-12. Oliver, and it is sent way out of bounds from the front row of the left side of the front row as they put that out of bounds. Heidelberg hit that too far, and it's 19-12. So General Johnnie Wilson continuing to serve, continuing to lead. They lead 1-0, and they are 6 points away from getting a 2-game sweep here. Now they're 5 points away. 20-12. Again, Oliver to serve. Oliver from the back row sends it back to Southview. McAfee for General Johnnie Wilson. Another good rally here, and it gets sent over to the middle of the back row, and the point goes to Kaya Rice and General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 21-12. Left side of the front row, hitting it out of bounds. 22-12. Heidelberg couldn't get it. She got it over the net, but couldn't put it in play. So now General Johnnie Wilson 3 points away from the match. They came in with a record of 3-3. The Southview 7th graders with 1 win so far on the campaign. Back row. Oliver passes it ahead. Howard can't get to it. Point to Southview, and they serve now, but they trail 22-13. So starting to run out of time here as they are 3 points away from being beaten, but we'll see what Eve Marie Rivera can do about that. Sends it over. McAfee Back over, Heidelberg will send it over to General Johnny Wilson's side. On the second hit, they are unable to get it over. Aurora lead, nice effort to try to get there, but couldn't get it to a teammate, and now General Johnny Wilson leads 23-13, and they'll get the serve back. 2 points away from the match, and it'll be Carly Patterson who will try to end the match here for General Johnny Wilson. Patterson with the overhand serve, sends it to the back row, and now we're at match point. Match point for General Johnny Wilson. This is 24-13. We're going to have a sub as Rivera will come out. And here at match point as Patterson serves. Patterson puts it off the top of the net, and that'll do it. It went off the top of the net and landed on the Southview side. So General Johnny Wilson gets a 2-game sweep over Southview. So 7th grade volleyball is General Johnny Wilson in 2 games over Southview. 25-14, 25-13 as the 2 teams will shake hands at midcourt at the net. And congratulations to Amy Mazur's team as they defeat Coach Marion Ingles' team in 2 games, 25-14, 25-13. And for General Johnny Wilson, the home team, they go to 4-3 on the season. That's going to do it for 7th grade girls volleyball this afternoon on WLCS TV 20. We'll have the 8th grade game a little bit later. For Mike Paciotti, this is Rob Polinsky reminding you one more time. Our score, 7th grade girls volleyball, is General Johnny Wilson over Southview in 2, 25-14, 25-13. And you've been watching 7th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Hey students, this is the Cleveland Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Moore. Make sure you start off school this year on the right foot by showing up every day on time and ready to learn. Let's stay committed, let's stay focused, and let's stay in the game.
Eighth grade volleyball today from General Johnny Wilson Middle School as the General Johnny Wilson 8th graders will entertain their crosstown rivals from Southview Middle School. Rob Polinsky here along with you as the 8th graders from General Johnny Wilson, the home team. They're on the right side of the court. And speaking of right, they are coached by Lindsay Wright. She is there talking with her players there on the right-hand side. They have a record of 3-4. Southview, who defeated General Johnny Wilson in their previous meeting, they are coached by Marion Engel. They have 3 wins on the campaign. They will play on the left side of your television. So Southview on the left, General Johnny Wilson on the right, as we're just about set for 8th grade volleyball from General Johnny Wilson Middle School. It'll be Jazzaray Danks serving to begin for the 8th graders from for General Johnny Wilson. The overhand serve is dug out from the back row from Southview, sent over on the second hit. You can already see the longer volleys and the better play here from the 8th graders than from the 7th graders. So this one should be pretty interesting from the back row. They put it into the net, and the first point is General Johnny Wilson. They lead 1-0 here, just underway, game 1. You played 2 games out of 3. You played at 25, and it'll be Jazzaray Danks serving. Danks to the back row for Southview. And the third hit, unable to get it over. Mike, I'm not teasing you, man. You got to save the gear. You can't let Brian Corey down on the week 1 or whatever you're on week 2 of the job. Jazzaray Danks. So that ball came flying right at us. Danks with an ace makes it 3-0. Good to have Mike Paciotti with us, who is now with WLCS TV 20, and he's doing all the hard camera work today for you to bring this into your homes. From the back row, it gets sent over on the third hit, and that will go off the ceiling, and that makes it 4-0. So General Johnny Wilson off to a 4-0 start here early on. Danks serving, and the overhand serve Again, is well played. A little miscommunication. That's an ace, and it's 5-0. And we're going to get an early timeout for Coach Marion Engel. She wants to talk to the young ladies about what's going on here in Game 1. And that'll give us a minute to tell you about one of our sponsors of high school sports at WLCS. Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical provider for Lorain Schools athletics. Cleveland Clinic's team of sports medicine specialists deliver high-quality care to all athletes, from high school athletes to the Cavaliers and Guardians. Visit clevelandclinic.org/sportsmedicine to learn more. And again, thanks to Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine for supporting Lorain athletics. So early on in Game 1, each team gets 2 timeouts per game if they want to use them. And Southview took that early timeout. They trail 5-0. And Danks is doing an excellent job serving here in the early going. So Danks to serve, and it is a good deep serve. And on the second hit, it is sent over by Mariah Wade. And that time, Southview will get the point. It's an excellent job there for Shania Smith. Gets her team the point. They trail 5-1, and now Shania Smith will go back to serve for Southview here in Game 1. So the Southview 8th graders get on the board with that point. And now they'll serve for the first time of the match. And Smith with an overhand serve to the back row, played ahead and over. Dug out very nicely, but that hit the ceiling, so that'll be a point for General Johnnie Wilson as it went off that beam that's above us, and it's 6-1. Coach Wright talking things over with the referee. And evidently this point will go to Southview, so it's 5-2. So Shania Smith will continue to serve. Her team trails 5-2. Smith sends it to the back row. That's sent ahead. And from the back row, they're unable to play it ahead as Avia Harrison tried to get it to her teammate. And it's 5-3, so Southview with 3 consecutive points after trailing 5-0. General Johnnie Wilson sent it over to the Southview side. And from the left side of the front row, that is Shania Donald sending it over, and that will be hit into the net for Southview. That is Niara Lurie, and it makes it 6-3. India Davis serving for General Johnnie Wilson. Her team up 6-0. And it goes into the net 7-3. Davis to the back row. Southview on the third hit will get it over, and they're doing that and getting the point. Don't have that name for Southview, but they get the point and cut the lead to 7-4. Southview, Niara Lurie with the ace makes it 7-5. So Niara Lurie serving, her team down by 2. Lurie with an overhand serve. And that will be sent inbounds. And the point goes to General Johnnie Wilson. I think Southview thought it was going to go out of bounds. They let it bounce. And that point goes to General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 8-5 here in Game 1. You play the best 2 games out of 3. 8th grade girls volleyball. Serving is Myasia Cheers. And that's sent out of bounds, 9-5. Checking in is Ariana Hughes for General Johnny Wilson. And that serve to the back row is going to be off the top of the net and be a point for Southview. But well done. Again, I don't have that number for Southview, so we're missing a few of the young ladies here for the Southview 8th graders. We'll get to the girls that we do have when we can. And Hughes unable to put that over the net. Southview has cut the lead here in game 1 to 9-7. There's an ace, 9-8. From the right side of the front row, unable to get it over the net, makes it 10-8 for General Johnny Wilson, as Valoria Feliciano was unable to put that over the net, and the point goes to General Johnny Wilson. They lead 10-8. Janae Harvey serving for General Johnny Wilson. Her team leads by 2. And that one is sent out of bounds. And they hit from the left side of the front row, makes it 11-8. Janae Harvey, the 8th grader for General Johnny Wilson, serving. Her team up by 3. And that is an ace, makes it 12-8. Harvey with the serve. Luciano sends it back, and that'll be a point for General Johnny Wilson. And it's 13-8. Harvey serves it into the net. That point goes to Southview. And Southview cuts the lead to 13-9, and they'll be serving. Serving, Laura Feliciano. Laura sends it over, and that one will get played by India Davis, but can't get it over the net, so the point goes to Southview, and they cut the lead to 13-10. India Davis, and on the third hit, they will get it over the net. Nicely done for General Johnny Wilson. That was Lonnie Williams on the third hit getting it over. Again, Lonnie Williams sends it over to the Southview side, and this will be played out of bounds. Point will go to General Johnny Wilson, and they now lead 14-10. Ariana Hughes serving. Good high serve, and that'll be a point for General Johnny Wilson. They lead 15-10. Ironically, in our 7th grade match a little earlier today, General Johnny Wilson defeated Southview in 2 games, and in each of those 2 games, they had 15-10 leads. And that serve doesn't quite get over the net. Point will go to Southview. They cut the lead to 15-11. Southview serving. And they're able to send it over the net. Miscommunication on the Southview side, 16-11. It was Elena Morales who was serving. Got the serve in, but unable to get the point. Line drive serve that goes out of bounds from Lonnie Williams. And it's 16-12. Southview cuts the lead to 4. Serving for the 8th graders from Southview is Ariana Wright. Wright hits it off the ceiling. That point will go to General Johnny Wilson. They lead 17-12. by 5 serving. Williams will send it back over to the Southview side. Played from the left side of the front row for General Johnnie Wilson. And that goes into the net, makes it 18-12. And serving will be Desiree Danks. Danks, and an excellent serve, 19-12, General Johnnie Wilson. And we're going to get a sub here for Coach Marion Engel and the 8th graders from Southview. Anisha Rodriguez is going to come play the back row. So Rodriguez checks in, and here's the serve by Danks. She'll send it right to Rodriguez. Rodriguez dinks it out, and it's sent over, and that'll be a point for Southview. Has an excellent job that time hitting it over. I don't have number 22 for Southview, so I can't give you the young lady's name, but cuts the lead to 19-13. Nicely played from the back row by Avea Harrison. And they're saying that was out of bounds. It'll be Southview's point, and they trail 19-14. Serving the ace makes it 19-15. They cut the lead to 4 here in game 1. Sub coming in for General Johnnie Wilson, India Davis checking back into the lineup. Shania Smith serving, her team down by 4. Smith with a good deep serve. Lonnie Williams will send it over. Dug out by Rodriguez, and from the left side of the front row, the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson as Shania Donald gets the point, and it's 20-15. India Davis to serve. Her team up by 5. And from the middle of the back row, is played ahead, and that'll be a point for Southview as Anisha Rodriguez from the back row gets the point for her team. And they cut the lead to 20-16.
Let's go, Lee. Let's go,
Niara Lurie serving. Overhand serve. Her team down 4. Good line drive serve that's sent out of bounds as Lonnie Williams slid for it. Tried to pass it ahead, but hit it out of bounds, and that makes it 20-17. General Johnnie Wilson's lead has been cut to 3. There's an ace on the line drive serve, 20-18. This is as close as Southview has been in a long time. General Johnnie Wilson scored the first 5 points to go up 5-0. And this is as close as they've been since then. And now it's a 1-point game as they get another ace. And it's 20-19, and we're going to get a timeout on the court here for General Johnnie Wilson. So General Johnnie Wilson, as they take the timeout, we can tell you about another one of our fine sponsors. And we would like to thank the Northeast Ohio Buick GMC dealers and Joyce Buick GMC for supporting our school this year. Whether you're looking for a new GMC truck or a used Buick SUV, drop in at Joyce Buick GMC and check out their inventory for a wide range of new and pre-owned vehicles. Go Titans. I want to remind you that the Jim Popio Foundation annual fundraiser will be Sunday, October 29th, as the Browns take on Seattle. That'll be at the Shipyards in Lorain. Doors open at 2:30, lunches from 3 to 4, kickoff at 4:05. It's just $25. Food, raffles, and soda. There is a cash bar. It's sponsored by the Lorain High School Sports Booster Club, and that foundation has awarded over $9,000 in scholarships to Lorain High School student athletes in the past year. So we are back to action, down 20-19, looking to serve for a tie. Line drive serve, and on the second hit is hit by Donald, and the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson, and they take a 21-19 lead. Serving is Myasia Cheers. Overhand serve, the line drive off the top of the net. That's an ace. 22-19 as General Johnnie Wilson now 3 points away from game one. So Southview cut it to 1 at 20-19. General Johnnie Wilson's Lindsey Wright took a timeout. They've scored 2 consecutive points since then. They go up 22-19. And from the right side, unable to get it over as that was well placed there by the Southview team, as that was Elena Morales who got that point for Southview to cut it to 22-20. Morales from the middle of the front row hits it out of bounds. 23-20 General Johnnie Wilson. And they get the serve. Sub coming in. Serving 2 points away from game one is Janae Harvey. So Harvey for the home team, General Johnnie Wilson. Her serve is hit by Morales, and that will be game point, as unable to pass it ahead, and trying to save it was Rodriguez, unable to do so. Game point here for game one at 24-20. So Janae Harvey with a chance to end game one here. Harvey sends it over, that's an ace, and that'll do it for game one. So in game one here for the 8th graders is General Johnnie Wilson with a 25-20 win over Southview. We'll take the timeout. We'll be back with game two for the 8th graders. That's after this timeout. You're watching 8th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools television.
Hey students, this is Cleveland Browns offensive lineman Wyatt Teller. September is Attendance Awareness Month. Did you know that missing school can significantly decrease your chances of graduating high school? Stay in the game by showing up to school on time and ready to learn. The Browns are always behind you.
Game two gets underway as Southview will serve down 1-0. As Shania Smith will begin serving for Southview, and she gets her team their first lead of the day at 1-0. So it was General Johnnie Wilson winning game one, 25-20. They took a 5-0 lead, never looked back. Although Southview made it very interesting, they cut the lead to 20-19, but that's as close as they would get. Shania Smith with a good deep serve that Lonnie Williams plays ahead, sent back over. And now the Southview team will get the point as from the back row, Avea Harrison hit it out of bounds, and Southview with the early 2-0 lead as they try to even this up at a game apiece. Smith to Lonnie Williams. Williams into the net. And Southview with a quick 3-0 lead here in game two. This is the second time these teams have met this year. Earlier, presumably over at Southview, it was the 8th graders of Southview defeating General Johnnie Wilson. But General Johnnie Wilson leads this one 1-0, but they try to even it up, and their point is out of bounds, and it will be a point for General Johnnie Wilson, and it's 3-1. So serving will be Jazzaray Danks. Her team trails 3-1. Danks hits it to the back row, played ahead, and from the middle of the front row, hitting it over was Valencia Boyce. Point to General Johnnie Wilson, and it's 3-2. They trail by 1. So Valencia Boyce playing in the middle of that front row for Southview. And it's going to be a point for General Johnnie Wilson. We're tied at 3. As Ava Randleman from the left side of the front row hit it, but couldn't put it over the net. Danks serving. Danks to the back row. Smith did a good job hitting it, and then it went into the net from Myasia Cheers, who almost got it over the net, couldn't quite do so. Southview regains the lead at 4-3. Niara Lurie serving for Southview. Lurie puts it into the net, and we are tied at 4. Serving will be India Davis for General Johnnie Wilson. Davis with a 4-4 tie, and there's an ace in front of the Southview team.
Let's go, shake it up, girls. Let's go. Play volleyball. Let's go.
Davis, line drive into the net, tied at 5.
Even game right now. Let's go. 13. Even game. Let's go. Down and ready.
Valencia Boyce, overhand serve, but she hits it out of bounds. Point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. They lead 6-5.
Come on, Maisha. Take your time. Back row. Be ready. Back row.
Maisha cheers to serve. And from the middle of the back row, unable to play it ahead was Niara Lurie, and it makes it 7-5. And we're going to get a timeout here for Southview. As Southview takes the early timeout, trailing 7-5, down 1-0. If they want a third game, they're going to have to come back from behind to win this one, so they take the early timeout. I want to remind you to get us our drive to 10,000 followers. If you could help us out, we'd appreciate it. Follow and like TV20. Lorain City Schools TV20 has over 6,500 likes and over 9,500 followers. They're trying to get to 10,000. We want to remind you that TV20 is home of the best high school sports coverage in Northeast Ohio. The media of most school district events and award-winning Titan news. And that, once again, is Lorain Schools TV20. Rob Polinsky, Mike Picciotti here with you from WLCS TV20 as we're at Southview, or we're at General Johnnie Wilson Middle School, excuse me. And it'll be General Johnnie Wilson to serve. Maisha cheers, her team up 7-5. Cheers will send a line drive. And that's played, and from the back row, Leary hits it back over to the Southview side. Lonnie Williams and India Davis kind of tried to play that together, and a little miscommunication there. Point to Southview, they cut the lead to 7-6. And serving will be Ava Randleman. Randleman will try to tie it here at 7. Randleman gets the serve. It's played there by Janae Harvey. And the point will go to Southview as we're tied at 7. Well, Ava Randleman will try to give her team the lead here. Again, sends it over. Again, Janae Davis plays it. And that will be a point for General Johnnie Wilson. 8-7. Janae Davis serving, her team up by 1. Davis from the back row. It is sent out of bounds, 9-7. General Johnnie Wilson with the lead. Janae Harvey serving for General Johnnie Wilson. Her team up 9-7. Harvey, middle of the front row. Sent back over by Alicia Figueroa. Figueroa got it to Lonnie Williams. And that'll be a point for Southview as they cut the lead to 9-8. And there's a good serve that time for Southview's Anisha Rodriguez, tying this match at 9 apiece. I should say tying the game at 9 each. Rodriguez to serve. We're going to get a sub first for General Johnnie Wilson, as coming back in is Shania Donald. Rodriguez sends it over. And from the back row, they send it ahead. Third hit, can they get it over? They do, but hitting it out of bounds that time was Southview. And that was Valencia Boyce who put it out of bounds. So General Johnnie Wilson takes a 10-9 lead. It'll be Alicia Figueroa serving. Her team up 10-9. Figueroa sends it over. And out of bounds, we're tied at 10. will send it over. Shania Smith for Southview will get the point, and Southview takes an 11-10 lead. So Smith from the right side of the front row able to get that point for her team. Southview leads, we're tied at 10, I'm sorry. Rodriguez sends it back over to the General Johnny Wilson side, and that will be just out of bounds as Rajulin Smith hit that, but just out of bounds. And now they do fix the score, so Southview does lead 12-10. So they were up 11-10. So now they lead 12-10. And they serve, trying to add to a 2-point lead, trying to send this to a third and deciding game. 13-10, they lead by 3. Don't have 22, the server's number for Southview. With this young lady serving, Lonnie Williams sends it back over to the Southview side. Played ahead, nice sliding job, and getting that point was Anicia Rodriguez. Southview has their biggest lead at 14-10. It's an ace, as that one was misplayed, and we get a timeout now. Down 15-10, first timeout of game 2 for General Johnny Wilson, as they will take a timeout here in game number 2. Each team with a timeout taken, and it'll give us a minute to let you know about another one of our fine sponsors. Your Lorain School's athletic trainer, Tracy Menges, works closely with Cleveland Clinic sports medicine specialists to provide your student athlete the best treatment and prevention of sports injuries. Visit clevelandclinic.org/sports medicine to learn more. Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, caring for pro athletes, active individuals, your student athlete, and you. So game 2, we're about halfway through. Southview down 1-0. They lost game 1, 25-20. They're battling back. They're ahead here 15-10. And that serve will be sent back over by Lonnie Williams from the back row. Passing ahead, and Shania Smith sends it back to the General Johnny Wilson side. Rodriguez will get the point. Nicely done, Anisha Rodriguez, and Southview up 16-10. And they're starting to take control of game 2 as they try to tie this match at a game apiece. A miss hit on the serve. General Johnny Wilson gets the point. They trail 16-11. And Lonnie Williams to serve. Williams with a good deep serve, and that's a point for General Johnny Wilson. They trail 16-12. Williams again. Sends that off the net, 16-13. General Johnny Wilson trying to get back into this. Lindsay Wright's 8th grade team from General Johnny Wilson serving. Lonnie Williams sends it over. And Shania Smith will put it back over to the Southview side. And one of the better volleys of this match. And that goes to General Johnny Wilson. 4 points in a row, and they've cut the lead to 16-14. Coach Marion Engel and coaching the Southview 8th graders. Lonnie Williams serving, trying to cut this to 1. Williams and will serve it, and that hit goes out of bounds. 5 points in a row for General Johnny Wilson, and they've cut the 16-10 deficit to 16-15. And we're going to get a substitution here. Coming back in is Shania Smith. Shania Smith will come in and play the back row. Shania Smith from the back row sends it over to the General Johnny Wilson side, but hitting it over and getting the point is Shania Donald, and we are tied at 16. 6 in a row for General Johnny Wilson. Johnny Williams, another great serve. That's an ace. And General Johnny Wilson now leads 17-16. Williams puts it into the net, but a great job of serving, and we're now tied again at 17. Shania Smith to serve. Tied 17 here in game 2. Smith with the overhand serve, and it's sent back over. Now back to the General Johnny Wilson side, played high, and a miss hit there gives the point to Southview. They lead 18-17. Smith to the back row, and that one is mishit by Avea Harrison, and Southview now leads by 2 at 19-17. Hit it over. 3 points in a row for Southview. They lead 20-17. Game 2 of 8th grade volleyball. Game 1 went to General Johnny Wilson 25-20. Ace, and now Southview just 4 points away from evening this. And we have a timeout on the floor for General Johnny Wilson. So we were tied at 10. 6 points in a row for Southview made it 16-10. Then 7 points in a row for General Johnny Wilson, gave them a 17-16 lead. And since then, it's been 5 consecutive for Southview to take a 21-17 lead. So back and forth these two teams go. I want to remind you once again, the Jim Popeil Foundation annual fundraiser is going to be October 29th as the Browns take on Seattle. It'll be at the Shipyards in Lorain. Doors open at 2:30. Lunch 3 to 4. Kickoff at 4:05. It's only $25. Sponsored by the Lorain High School Sports Booster Club. Smith to serve, and it is sent off the ceiling, and it's going to fall on the General Johnny Wilson side. Harrison from the back row, but put it off that curtain that's high above here. They couldn't get to it, and it's 22-17. So Southview is just 3 points away from tying this up. Shania Smith sends it over. And there's going to be a point, as that was well played by Jazzaray Davis. 22-18, and now Davis and General Johnny Wilson serving, but they trailed 22-18. So Southview remains 3 points away from evening the match. Davis and General Johnny Wilson with a lot of work to go if they want to get back into it, but they get a point there as that was hit out of bounds from Southview. It's 22-19 Southview. Jazzaray Davis, line drive serve into the net. Southview 2 points away from game number 2. Serving is Niara Lurie. Lurie puts it into the net. Gives the point to General Johnny Wilson. They lead 23-21. So going back to serve for General Johnny Wilson will be India Davis. Her team trails 23-20. There's an ace. 23-21. Davis, Smith sends it back. Lonnie Williams sends it over, left side of the front row. That's going to go out of bounds. It's now 23-22 as General Johnny Wilson is within a point. India Davis to try to tie it. Sent ahead from the middle of the front row. They put it into the net, and we're tied at 23. Don't forget, you must win by 2. Sub coming in It'll be Elena Morales coming into the middle of the front row for Ava Randleman. So 23-23. Whoever gets this point, it'll be game point for that team. And that is going to go to the General Johnnie Wilson team. Is now we're at match point, as I believe that was Jazzaray Danks who came up with that. So game point and match point here for General Johnnie Wilson. Davis serves it. And it's sent over on the second hit. And putting it out of bounds. We're tied at 24. Myasia Cheers hit it over, but it's out of bounds. So we're tied at 24. So this will go to at least 26 points. As we're tied, you have to win by 2. Sub coming in, and coming in to serve for Southview is Ariana Wright. Ariana Wright serves it and sends it. Played well that time by Cheers. And we're at match point again as Southview can't get it over. So General Johnnie Wilson will have their second match point here. Ahead 25-24. Myasia Cheers to serve for the match. Sends a line drive. That's an ace, and that will be the match. General Johnnie Wilson comes from behind, and they win in 2 games. Game 1, General Johnnie Wilson 25, Southview 20. Game 2, General Johnnie Wilson 26, Southview 24, as the 2 8th grade teams will meet at midcourt at the net and shake hands. What a game 2 we had. We were tied at 10. Southview looked to take command to go up 16-10. 7 points in a row for General Johnnie Wilson, made it 17-16. Then Southview made it 22-17 as they scored 6 in a row. Teams battled back and forth, and eventually General Johnnie Wilson won it 26-24. With the win for Coach Lindsay Wright, her team is now 4-4 on the year. And for Coach Marion Engel, the 8th grade coach of Southview, they'll remain at 3 wins. So that's going to do it for 8th grade volleyball today. Again, special thanks to Mike Picciotti. He did all the camera work, all the tough stuff for you. Thanks to both coaches for all their information, and thanks to you for watching, and of course for our sponsors for making volleyball possible for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, in 2 games, it was General Johnnie Wilson over Southview, 25-20, 26-24. For Mike Picciotti, this is Rob Polinsky. You've been watching 8th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. Good night, everybody.